Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV. Today, we're in our Mesa studio, actually via Skype with Kris Anderson of eXp Realty from Sedona, Arizona. Thank you so much, Kris, for taking time out of your busy day and joining me on Real Estate Pros.
Thanks a lot, Jordan, for having me.
Awesome. So for those that don't know who you are, I'll give you a moment to introduce yourself.
So my name is Kris Anderson. You can check out our website, ilovesedonarealestate.com. There are 7 full-time agents that work on our team. We service Sedona, Verde Valley, Flagstaff, as well as Scottsdale.
Awesome. So how long have you been in real estate?
23 years,
All right,
Jordan.
veteran. But what is awesome to me is that, I think we had a conversation it was like 4 or 5 years ago when you first started using Lister Pros and you were just venturing off into the Sedona and talking how you plan on taking over that market. And you've become the #1 agent out of Sedona. So that is an amazing feat. So talk to us a little bit about, how you were able to accomplish that.
Well, I think one, it helped that I had 18 years of experience before just leaping into the market. That made some difference. And just having a good plan of action. I think having a Lister Pros as the dedicated photography, video, 3D tour, 2D schematic was in place, but also targeting, geofencing, geofarming, dominating on print, back, getting in front of everybody I could get ahead of and in front of. And the way you do that is social events and charity events and just being everywhere. And that was our goal. I want to outwork everybody and be the most present. And people think that doesn't work, and it does.
So you're out there in the community. You're very active in that. So did you know Sedona previously, or have you only lived there for the 4 or 5 years?
So we moved prior to moving up there. We've been here almost 5 years. So prior to actually stepping foot into the house that we bought, 60 days prior, my first mailing went out, and I started with 2,000 names. And then as I grew my business, I added 2,000 more names, another 2,000. So now I have a total of 8,000 direct mail campaign.
Oh, wow.
We do the geo farming, of course. Like I said, all the social events. We're sponsoring the chili cook-off for Rotary. I mean, we do a lot of things that just put our ilovesedonarealestate.com in front of everybody. So the signs are there, and we've just built this awesome machine, I'll call it, because it is a machine. It's very systematic, and we have a great contact management software, and we just work it.
So what do you say to those that think that print mail is old-fashioned or doesn't work? What do you?
I think you need to do it a little bit, to be honest. We're in the back cover of Homes and Land for Sedona Verde Valley. That works for us. We still get the calls from that. 55 plus demographic. If you're got 65 plus demographic, they love paper and they love, magazines. So I think you got to look at your plan for your market and integrate it, but have great photography.
Right, exactly. You gotta have it, right?
Great photography.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's nice that you see that that's part of the key to success, right? Having good marketing materials. Because part of the thing going out there, you got to set yourself apart from other agents, and I think that's one way that you have, and you put a lot of time, effort, money into marketing your property. So talk to us a little bit about your time on market and how, the success you're having in selling properties out there.
Well, I think if you're a list agent and you have a great photographer or a great team, and I'm just going to brag on you guys, Jordan, because
Sure.
you guys have the 3D technology down pat. You have the 2D schematic. A lot of people don't use floor plans. I think it's the best thing you can do to weed somebody out. So before they even come to the property, they know there's stairs. I think if you have great twilight photography, if you do the twilight as well as the daytime shot, I think it just showcases the house. I mean, let's face it, 91% of the buyers are online, and then you guys do the video and you're Zillow approved. So if you have the Zillow video,
Right.
I don't know how you could go wrong with your marketing. But I hear a lot of agents, well, it's too expensive. And I'm like, well, then you're not going to get any listings because you're going to have to spend the money for your seller to do a good job by your seller.
Right, exactly. And they're hiring you as a professional, right? So you gotta do your part. And it definitely sounds like you're out in the community, you're doing those marketing pieces. So a little bit outside. Obviously, I like to talk a little bit about Sedona because I believe a lot of buyers come from out of state. So what are some of the marketing avenues? Like, how are you finding buyers that are maybe not really living in Sedona, because that's probably a little bit of a challenge. I don't know if there are certain areas outside of Arizona that you target that you're seeing a lot of people come to Sedona.
California.
Oh, really?
California, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and we target through Facebook. We do Twitter. We also do Google ad placement, and we're also doing a lot of YouTube. We have a What Would Kris Do series we've been doing. We, of course, once we place the ad, we have the click funnel so we can capture them.
Yeah. What system are you using? Are you using ClickFunnels? Are you using ClickFunnels?
No, we've built out our own ClickFunnels, but we're using our contact management software as Follow Up Boss.
Oh, Follow Up Boss.
Yeah.
Man, but I know we're talking very quickly about all these things. I know there's a whole lot of time, effort, energy you put into building these back-end systems. Because we do that here at Lister Post, but man, I think a lot of people don't realize it's not just we move in and do things. You got to be very, you got to put in the effort and make sure that you're doing the correct things, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. But yeah, it definitely shows in the activities that you're doing that it is hard work to be able to achieve the feat that you have, which is #1 agent in Sedona.
Well, and you think about it, I was on a phone call before we talked, and it's a developer, and he basically wants all my secrets, and he goes, I want you to help me build this out and I'll pay you. I go, you can't afford me, man. Yeah. I've spent hours and hours and years doing this stuff and all the training. People just think it's like, oh, I'll just hire someone and they can do it for me. You got to really learn it. If you really want to do it, you've got to get immersed in it. You've got to know how to do it. And then I can go and I could sit with my guy that works for me, and I could train him, and then he can help me. But all these people think it's like instantaneous, like, let me just write a check. And I'm like, it's not like that.
Right.
Right? It's a lot of work.
Yep. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some of these more recent occurrences. Obviously today is, we're in the middle of March. The coronavirus is out there. What are you seeing out there from a consumer? Obviously, there's a lot of things going on in the media that may, I guess, induce fear into the markets or different things. Obviously, you're seeing the Dow Jones go up and down, or mostly down. I think it lost about a third of its value over the last couple of weeks. So talk to us a little bit about in regards to real estate and how it's impacting things.
So we've had some cancellations on contracts. We've had some cancellations of showings, of course. But I'm also seeing contracts come together. The interest rates are really low. Our inventory level is low. So I think from an overall economic impact, will we see a little bit of a recession? Yes. Are we going to see market prices plummet like all this jabber I'm hearing? No. I think the prices, they're going to just kind of flatten. And I think we're just going to have to be calm and get through this. If you're a seller, you open up your windows and your doors. You keep the lights on for the showing. You don't have them touch anything. Maybe you give them booties to walk through your house. So you keep it still super clean. And then the buyer's agent, I would have sanitizer or something to wipe the handle if you're really concerned. And buyers doing the same precaution. Wear your booties. If you're really concerned, you still want a house, you want a nice place to live, come to Sedona. I mean, if you're a survivalist, this might be the best market to come to. Right. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, but actually, those are great ideas. I think a lot of people are like, shut things down. Obviously, currently, right now, who knows what will happen as they're rolling out more and more tests. But Arizona is relatively low on the risk factors, at least for now. We'll see what things happen in the future. But I think you did mention a lot of things that could help in making the showings from showings and listings, just those best practices, right? Just like with any illness, right, or a flu or a cold or whatever, you want to make sure things are sanitary, right? So just make sure you have your wipes. And I think there's ways to just continue doing business, and just being I guess cautious, as you would say.
That's it. And having a 3D tour, if you're a listing agent, that's your open house. That's a 24/7 open house that you could utilize on all your social mediums to get the word out on that house. If people are a little more nervous to go into houses, well, that's a great way to weed out the herd, so to speak, to see
Right.
what you as a buyer really want to see.
Right, and that's actually a really good point.
And I think we've just got to be working as teams better and just weeding out the discriminating buyer. And I tell people, any of my sellers right now, I say, listen, if you have a buyer in your house, that buyer really is in the market to shop. They are serious.
Mm-hmm. So do you think there's an opportunity right now for buyers where there's maybe more people hunkering down in homes to find deals out there?
I think I'm going to think that your buyers out there, the ones that are serious, I think if you're a seller, it's just going to make you, I think the deal can come together and you're going to work together, but you're going to have a really serious buyer in your house. So I'm excited about this. You're not going to have all these looky-loos or people that really just like to get design ideas. So I think it's great for us as realtors.
Right. So let's go ahead and touch back on your real estate business. And I know you mentioned you have a team of 7 currently. So what's the dynamic of your team look like right now? How does that help deliver a better customer experience for all your customers?
So I like to think of it, I got 2 great rock stars down in Scottsdale, and then there's 5 of us that service the Sedona Verde Valley. One up here is commercial and residential, so we can cover that market. We have a gal that specializes in new home builds. That's her focus. So new home construction. And then the rest of us, I'm the listing specialist. The rest are buyer's agents specifically. 2 in Scottsdale do both buyer and listing. And then as a team, we work together in covering if we need the coverage, which usually we do. And then 2 on the team are awesome at open houses. So we're always plugging them in for open houses.
So it sounds like you got a good team. So right now, are you good where you're at? Or are you looking to bring on more agents? What are you seeing currently?
Right now,
for 2020, I guess your plans for 2020.
2020, keep the same team in place. We're going to be focusing on agent attraction and getting more people to go. No more bricks and mortar and come over to eXp Realty.
eXp Realty, right? Yeah. So I know you made the switch from a big name brokerage a couple years ago.
It's actually been close. Almost 3.
Almost 3 years.
April.
Yeah, you were
April
I think you were one of the first ones that before it was a hot thing, maybe a year or so ago. But talk to us a little bit about eXp and why you've stuck with eXp for so long.
So it's the cloud brokerage and no franchise model. So I can be anywhere in the world because now we've gone into the UK and Australia, and I can have my license and have just one brokerage. That means to me I don't pay multiple fees for every state I'm in if I'm licensed, and that can be very cool. They've been very good to me. I mean, in terms of equity share or stock, I have stock in the company. I'm awarded stock, and that's been outstanding. So I tell people, yes, I pay a percentage into belong to eXp, but in the end, I'm way ahead of my counterparts or anybody that I was at big brand because I've got stock reward. And they just brought out health insurance.
Oh, wow.
Jordan saves us $1,000 a month. So as a couple, so I'm pretty excited about the company, and I can't say enough. And I've met all the leadership. They're young, progressive, and they're totally about kind of like what we're discussing. It's like being way ahead of the curve to see what's coming down the pike. And all of this disruption with the coronavirus didn't affect our company at all.
Wow.
Because we're in the cloud.
Yeah.
And we go into Verbella. We own Verbella, so we have major conferences in our computer. So we're still interacting, and we're not having to shut anything down.
Sure. So it's pretty much business as usual right now for.
No big deal.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So awesome. So for those watching that may not know how to get in contact with you, or maybe an agent that has a question or a potential buyer or seller for the markets that you cover, how do people get a hold of you?
ilovesedonarealestate.com is our website. That's the best way to go because once you go there, I've got you.
You gotcha. You got
Gotcha.
Yeah. They'll be in contact, right?
Right. That's right. So yeah.
I left Sedona. What is it? I left SedonaRealEstate.com.
Realestate.com. That's it.
Easy, simple enough. So awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, Kris, and joining me on Real Estate Pros. And we will see you guys on the next episode.